So in this, we are going to see a process creation using a fog. So fog is a system called that is used to create a new process that is which is a child process. So the system call is used to create a new process that is which is called child process. The creating process is the parent process, and the newly created process is called child process, which run concurrently with the with the process that makes the fork called parent process. After newly created process is created, both processes will execute the next instructions following fork system call. The child process uses the same program counter, same CPU register, same open file which are used in the parent process. The child process created by parent process. So parent process using the program counter, CPU registers, all the things will be used by the child process also. So it takes no parameter and return an integer value. That is, the integer value can be segregated into three types. That is, the return value. That is, if it is negative, the creation of child process was unsuccessful. So the negative value it will be returned. The creation of child process is unsuccessful. Zero means it is returned to newly created child process. Positive value means it is returned to a parent or caller. The value contains the process ID of the newly created child process. So it will contains the newly created child process. Now all the processes that are created using fog run concurrently, but if we want the last process created to execute first, and in this manner bottom to up executions at the parent process executes last. So lastly created process should execute first means the child process should execute first, then at last the parent process will be remains. So in this we are going to see here the fork. This is the parent process fork. So it will create a new two, that is first child, that is first child process. So this is the second, this is grandchild process. So this is the grandchild process. Uh, First child, second child, and this will be the third. That is this is the grandchild process. So this is the second child process. This is the parent process. So here we are going given the three questions we are going to implement. That is first to create a parent process and a child process. That is parent A and child B. There are two processes. So here first we have been done. So that is if fog. So fog it is been given. So it will be create a process. So it will return a value. So we have been discussed before. So if it is equal to 0 means it is a, we know that it is a child process. Return to child process. So ID of the child process is B. ID of child process B is, and ID of parent process D, that is get PID. So if you give the get bit, it will be given the ID. So ID of the process. So if it is 0 means it is a child process. Otherwise it will be a parent process. So now let us run. So this is a parent process A. See a parent process A. That is if it is created. So ID of the parent process is 95 and child process B. So next uh, question is create a parent process, child process, and a grandchild process. So we need to create parent process, child process, and a grandchild process. So before that, let us uh, comment this, and this is the second program. So here if fog equal to 0, so it will be, it means it is a child process. So if it returns 0, it is a child process. So child process, so it will be create a child process. So ID of the child process and the parent process will be, this is the seen before. So we need to create a grandchild process. So this is the child process. So the child process create another child process. So if fog equal to 0, this is the grandchild process. See ID of the grandchild and the parent process. If the both the if condition fails, so if we fog that is child process is equal to 0 means, then it will be parent process. So this is the parent process. So that's the thing, and now let us execute. Sorry. So this is the parent process A, and ID of the parent process is 131. Now let us another once again we can execute. Same thing is coming if it is created. So at last we are going to see the next program is that they have given that we need to create a parent process, two child process, and two grandchild process. In before we have created a parent process, two child process, sorry, one child process and one grandchild process. So here one parent process, two child, two grandchild. So see here if this is the if fog equal to 0 means this is a child process. So the child process will be create another child process. So this is the grandchild. That is, if another child process will be created. So if it is created, so it will goes to the last. That this is the grandchild process D and process ID and process that is get PD. Uh, so the get PD is current child process. Get PPD is the this process parent process. So that is the thing. Otherwise, so if it is this, it will be the child process B. So that is this is the child process. This is the child process B. I'll process ID is thing and process. So if it is so so this create a process. This will create a process and it will be create a child process. So if child process, so the process child process, and once again if you create a process, that is the thing. So it will be returned to the grandchild process. So it will execute this if statement. Otherwise, it is the child process. Else means if you are again once again you create, that is the parent. This you see here, this is the parent A, that is child B have been seen and child D. So next, if parent A is not great, child C and child E. So that is the thing. So child B. This is the child B and this is the child E. So if you create the child B, so it will be again once again if you create a child E. So if it is returned to this process, so it will execute grandchild process. Otherwise, it will execute a child process. If the whole thing is not the thing, so it is the parent A process. So that is the parent A process. Initially we start with child B and create another the grandchild. So if you create a child B and you create a grandchild, and next thing you create a child C and child E. If the both not the E not the both the if and else if are not true, then it will be a parent A. So that is the thing used in this process. So that's it from this process creation using fog, and thank you.